Here are my 7 favourite things about Taiwan. This list of my favourite things isn't in any kind of order. They're all my favourites. So let's start off with number 1. Number 1 is the location. Taiwan's location in the whole world for me is, if not the best, one of the best in the world. Everybody says that Malaysia is the heart of Asia. But if you look at Taiwan's location on the global map, it is so easy to get to many other Asian countries. For example, I can get on the MRT now, right behind me. It'll take me maybe 50 minutes to get to the airport, and then another hour away, I'm in the Philippines, in Manila. The same with South Korea. Similar, a little bit further, Japan, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia a bit further down. China across the water, Hong Kong, Macau, they're all around. And it's so easy and affordable to travel. This is probably one of my favorites, although it isn't in any kind of order, remember, because I love to travel. And the best thing is, you can wake up in the morning, you can see how the weather is in different countries, in different locations. You can book a hotel, which again is affordable, and then you can go on the plane and you're already there in a couple of hours, 3 hours at the top if you're going to Thailand or over that way a little bit further, and you're in a swimming pool or by the beach ready for some beers in the evening. Number 2, the diverse environment. Now when I'm talking about the diverse environment, it can mean a few different things, but for me it is the fact that you could be in Taipei City or a city, and then maybe 5 or 10 minutes away is more kind of, let's say, village life or outskirts of city life. The best thing I can do to try and explain what the hell I'm talking about is Taipei City, and then all around it is New Taipei City. I live in New Taipei City, which is why I've got a load of mountains around me. I can go for a beautiful run around the river, I can go hiking, but within 12 minutes I can be in Taipei, or even less. That's just quite central to Taipei. Even 6 minutes, I can be in Taipei City for a little bit more of city life, for a restaurant if I want, or to go to one of my gymnasiums. This also means that you have the choice of living that city life or the quieter life in more, I wouldn't say total countryside, but that option is there. If you do go to the countryside, New Taipei City, a little bit further out, again, you're still only a bus journey or metro journey or cycle away, potentially, from more built up areas and the city. This is great if you do like a bit of space. I like my space. I don't like to be around people too much all the time. So I'm okay dipping in and dipping back out of the city when needed. But backgrounds like I've got now, I've got the river beside me, I've got the MRT, the metro near me, I've got bicycles which I can rent out, I can go for a run, I can go for a walk, I can go, I've got gymnasiums situated around me in the city or a little bit further down, maybe a kilometre away. I've got a gymnasium in my apartment, and it's this contrast in living, the environments which can change very quickly. So if you're a little bit like me and you like the best of both worlds, this is perfect. Now you might say, yeah, but there's so many other countries which are just the same. You're right, or you're most likely right. The point is, these are my 7 favourite things about Taiwan, nowhere else. Number 3, the cost of living. Right, let's get this straight. It can be expensive to live in Taipei or areas of Taiwan. It can be expensive to live anywhere. However, cost of living is very broad subject, and it normally comes down to the individual and the individual's needs. I can lead or live a very good life in Taiwan because if I want to go out for something to eat, I can easily go to a more local restaurant or coffee shop or cafe or bar and enjoy the price and the quality of the food or drink or atmosphere. However, if I do find myself in a more expensive area, there is enough range for me to know that, look, I don't think that's going to be value for money, I'm not going to go there, or actually, that's okay, I accept the price and I accept the value. For me, when people talk about living abroad, working abroad, a lot of people say, but the salary isn't as much as it is back in our home country. It may not be, it may be the same, it may be more, but people get this idea that it's all about the money you make. However, it is not. It is about the disposable income you have, because the more disposable income you have, the better your life, the better your lifestyle. The more things you can do, the more you can provide for your family. So in terms of cost of living, my bills, electric bill, gas bill, even my rent, I've done all the videos before. I'm not going to say we're in the link because we're in the Taiwan playlist, which will be at the end of the video, and you can check through. I'm paying sometimes £10, what, $16 a month for my electricity, maybe less. I'm paying £4 a month for gas or water. What's that about? My rent, I pay what, £600, £580? I've got a swimming pool, a gymnasium, a climbing wall, I've got a reception area, I've got a beautiful walkway, I'm right on the MRT. I'm actually in the same building. So if you show me a load of places where I can get all that for that kind of money, yes, Thailand and some other countries in the region, for sure. But for me, this is one of my favourite things, and it's cost of living. Cost of living can be expensive, apartments can be ridiculous, food and restaurants can be ridiculous. But I make it one of my favourite things because I find Taiwan very affordable overall, and I couldn't find the value anywhere else. If I went, let's say, to Thailand, maybe cost of living is cheaper, but my disposable income wouldn't be as much. So it's all about the disposable income, and for me, this is one of my favourite things about Taiwan. If I want to cook at home, I go to the supermarket and I can do a very good supermarket shop for a good price. Now, I'm not going to say a super cheap price, but it's cheaper than the UK, probably USA, probably Canada now, by far, a lot of European countries. I can buy a big bag of 56 dumplings for £1. It's crazy. That could last me, you know, if I was going to eat it every day, it could last me 5 days. I can go on the street and get some rice for 50p, maybe less. You can get street food if you want for cheap. You can get market shops, restaurant shops, local shops. I can go to my favourite local restaurant, which is next door to where I live, and I can get 4 big dishes, 2 vegetable and 2 meat, 2 large bottles of beer, and it'll cost me less than £20. You can go to the gymnasium, a public gymnasium, which costs £1 or 80p for 1 hour. Gym membership, I can use any gymnasium around the whole city. It costs me £30. Some of the gymnasiums have swimming pools. I can use them. I can use all of the classes included, all of the facility. I'll go onto this in another section, but the transport is so cheap. It's so cheap to move around. I can go from the bottom of the city of Taipei to the top for about £1.50. It doesn't get much cheaper than that. I can pay £30 for a card, which gives me free MRT or metro rides, bus rides and cycling across the city for 1 month. For travel to the airport for free. Not for free, £30 a month. And that is cost of living tick for me. Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Just a very quick message from me. If you're watching this because you're interested in moving to Taiwan and working in Taiwan, I've got a brand new digital guide out which helps you do just that. This life changer guide will go through everything you need to settle into your brand new life in Taiwan, from the visas you need to how to rent accommodation, go through all contractual issues you may face, how to get a job, how to make extra money and extra income. Also, I go through the cost of living, your bills, national health insurance, how much taxes you pay, and all other secret strategies and little tips I can give you from living and working in the country and the region for over 11 years. I'll also give you 10% off. In the description, you will find a link to the course and your discount. Now, let's get back to the video. Number 4, the ease of living. So we've had the cost of living and now on to the ease of living. Taiwan is easy to live in. It can be complicated if you want it to, but for me, like I said, I've got that happy medium. I'm on the outside by the river. by the mountains, but I'm not too far away from the city. If you don't want to be bothered by people, they won't bother you. If you want to talk to people, yeah, the locals can be a little bit shy, but if you want to, there are people around you can talk to. Like everywhere, I'm not going to say, oh, the people so friendly, because you find friendly, nice people all across the world, especially in Asia. But in terms of having everything available close by what you need, food, shopping, social, in terms of bars, restaurants, whatever you want to do, health clubs, gymnasium, transportation, bus stops everywhere, public bicycles everywhere, metro stations, all within distance from an area where you can then get on a bus or another bike or walk. You don't need to drive. I haven't drove a car for 10 years, well, nearly 11 years now. The last time I was in Dubai and that was crazy. I can drive, I don't want to. There's no need to. Yes, it can make some things a little bit easier, but the ease of living here, it's just, for me, a perfect mixture. I come from a small town, a village, back home in England. If you want to pay a bill, electricity bill, you take the bill, which has been delivered to your house, and then you pay for it at the 7-Eleven or Family Mart, which is basically just like a corner shop. The healthcare system, you line up, you pay £20 a month, maybe less, maybe it's included in your job package, and it's cheap, it's affordable, it's accessible. You can go to then, with national insurance, you can then go to most hospitals around your city, around your location, and it's very cheap, if anything. Sometimes you do have to pay a little bit, but it's hardly anything. And you're not waiting for the long. You go, you get a ticket, you wait in line, you go and see a doctor. And I hear you say, but we have the NHS, everything is free. Okay. I'm pretty sure if I need an operation, I can get an operation done at an affordable price on average compared to someone waiting for the NHS to get done for free, or what maybe isn't free. The ease of everything, paying bills, health, moving around, and not being bothered by people if you don't want it, or bothering people if they do want it. And of course there are some troublesome areas, banking, etc. But again, every country has their own troubles, their own annoyances. But as a whole, with a mixture of everything else what I'm talking about, the ease of living can be made very easy if you want it to be. Number 5, I touched on it briefly in number 4, transportation. If you don't want to drive in Taiwan, is good. I say Taiwan, but I should say Taipei. Now, on a whole, all these things cover Taiwan, but transport I would say is more specifically for Taipei, because the MRT, the metro system, is amazing. It's efficient, it's clean, it's cheap. It's not too big like, let's say, Shanghai or Beijing, or even London, or confusing. And you can get to most locations across the city very, very easy, and then walk to where you need to be. It might be a sports stadium, it might be a concert hall, it might be somewhere to go and have dinner. You can be from one area and in 40 minutes you can be total different area. You haven't had to drive, you haven't had to be stressed out, you haven't had to pay too much for a taxi. But if you do want to pay for a taxi, again, it's affordable. You can get in a taxi, let's say from a bar or restaurant at the top of the city, and travel down to the bottom of the city. And look, in the past midnight, yes, I've done that, and I probably paid £10. That's probably at the highest scale. Yeah, if you go to certain areas, it might be £15, okay? But £10 to £15, that won't get you 1 mile in some places. And bicycling, cycling. You can get a U-bike and a cycle pass all up through the city, which I've already done, I've already shown in the video, okay? You can cycle anywhere you want. And there are cycle paths, but also some of the paths are okay for you to cycle next to the road or through the city itself. You've got beautiful scenery like this behind, you've got city areas you can ride through. Then you've got the buses are regular, there's bus stops all over the place, and it's cheap. You're looking to pay maybe 50p. You know, depending on route, of course, 50p to £1.50 if it's a little bit further. transportation as well. Okay, petrol is cheaper. I don't need to pay for petrol, but petrol is cheaper than the UK for sure. I can't talk about many other countries. And then flying. Like I said, the very first one, number one location, flying, cheap flights, bit further out. Yes, it's going to be expensive to get to Europe, but from Asia countries to Asian countries, prices are very affordable. The transport is just so easy, and it all links in together. Ease of use, cheapness, cost of living, transportation, availability. It is perfect for me. It's one of my favorite things about Taiwan. Number 6, this means 6, okay? I can't do that because I'm using my microphone, but number 6 is safety. Taiwan is so safe. Look, people get angry when I say the Middle East is safe. Look, when you go to the UAE, Kuwait, I've been to Bahrain, I've lived in all 3 of these places, very safe. A lot of Asian countries are safer. A lot of Asian countries, like other countries, can be dangerous. Taiwan can be dangerous. But on the whole, the normal things, like if I go to the river and I leave my bag, even with a laptop in, I'm not suggesting that you can do it and have a total ease of mind. Just be careful wherever you are, whatever you're doing. But if I was to do that, I could go to a shop 1 minute, 2 minutes away, or out of eyesight, out of view, and come back and everything will still be there. Of course, there's certain locations in the country where you can't do that, but on a whole, on average, you're safe. You're not walking down the street and being hassled by people. You're not being stabbed. And yes, like most countries, there will be trouble. There will be a stabbing or shooting in certain areas by certain people. But on a whole, Taiwan is super safe. You can, as male or female, and look, I'm not saying that it's okay to do this and do that, but you could walk around at 2 a.m, 3 a.m. in the morning, again in certain places, and you're safe. You can go at night time and walk through the city centre, around bars, and you're safe. Inside bars, restaurants, you can be safe. Do you still need to try your best to keep your wits about you and keep your head screwed on? Of course. But you aren't feeling like it's dangerous or you're surrounded by danger, apart from the dogs barking over there. But you don't have that sense, that feeling. What I do when I go back to Europe now, or even when I go back to my hometown, I feel uncomfortable. It just doesn't feel safe. You're not having people shouting abuse at people randomly. Okay, if they do that, you can actually get sued if you stick your middle finger up to someone. The safe environment isn't just for me personally, it's also for families. What makes it work is that everyone understands that. Everyone knows that if you're not a dickhead, you can have a nice, safe environment. The more dickheads you're surrounded by, the more dickish the environment and dangerous the environment is going to be. Like I said, it isn't without its issues. For example, you could cross the road and 9 times out of 10 you're probably safe, but that 1 time out of 10 you're on a zebra crossing, and you get hit by a car. Okay. But I'm talking about, do I feel safe? Do I feel safe at night? Do I feel safe during the day? Do I feel safe walking around the city, walking around different areas? Absolutely. And this is one of my favorite things. Most of the countries in Asia, whether or not people deem them as dangerous, certain areas can be dangerous, but overall, for me, Taiwan and Asia on a whole, mostly because of the people, is thumbs up. And last but not least, number 7. 7 again, we do this here sometimes. Number 7 is food, and I wanted to leave this till last because a lot of people would say food and weather as a number 1, but look, you're going to have good weather in Asia, you're going to have rainy days in Asia most of the time. But the food here is one of the things I love about Taiwan. You can go anywhere in the country and you can get all sorts. And although for me personally, I personally love being in China, Shanghai and Beijing, Shenzhen. Look, all the cities will have their own cuisine, their own style. I like Cantonese food, Hong Kong style food, okay? For me, look, you can get all this in Taiwan, but it's not like the local Taiwanese dish, which I wouldn't say is amazing, but I just like everything with rice. I love dumplings. I love baozies, which is like bun with vegetable and meat inside. I like getting little kebab sticks. I like getting weird egg pancakes with chili sauce in. I like getting beef noodle. And people say, oh, all that noodle and rice, people are getting fat. Well, if you look on average, the only thing what's making Asians fat and people on the whole is fast food, what they have everywhere. And I just love going out, the ambience, the culture, getting a big bowl of beef noodle and a chilled large bottle of Taiwan beer. You can go out to an all-you-can-eat buffet, my favourite restaurant, Eat Together restaurant. You can go out there, you can pay £25, you can drink wine and beer, water or juice or whatever else they do all night for 4.5 hours. You can get spare ribs, you can get beef cubes, you can get seafood if you like it. You can get Haagen-Dazs ice cream, all you can eat, it's £25. I've done other videos on my channel. Hot pots, all you can eat. Koreans, all you can eat. Barbecues, all you can eat. And having this as an option, or another option, going to the local brunch shop where I go and spending £2.50 on some egg rolls or egg pancakes, is just the mix I need. Affordable, beautiful, and in Taiwan. They are my 7 favourite things about Taiwan, and to learn more about Taiwan, you need to be clicking on the playlists and videos right here.